Even though animals are actually, horses are actually silent animals, this was a shout of excitement. It's big excitement. I also once heard the same sound, but then sort of the same sound, but then of sadness. And when you heard that, you will know the difference. But this was a sound of sexual interest. How come? How come that this pony and this big Kabul are having this sexual issue? Well, it's very easy to explain. At that moment, little Tibor was still a stallion, and Kabul was actually castrated. But the testosterone that Tibor had gave him sexual interest, sexual excitement. So little Tibor is playful, but he's also challenging the big Kabul. And that's what happened. That's what you just heard. I corrected this behavior because I was there. And if I'm not there, they will do it anyway. But it's a very nice example of how animals, horses, do have emotions. We deny emotions. We think that we make a difference in human emotions and animal emotions. And I'm not the only one who says, there are also, thank God, there are also some scientists nowadays who say that all emotions we know, animals know too. It depends on the species which emotions are more important. I mean, chickens, for instance, don't have empathical feelings. Chickens are very selfish. But horses, though, they have such a special way of living, they have a very high emotional um, uh, world. They need empathy, they need social skills, and they need all kinds of emotions: care, curiosity, play, happiness. Anyway, let's look at the next movie. It's a shot. Here you can see they're calm again. They're just normal. They're back to the state of mind that they like. And Tibor tries to walk in the field, but Kabul standing there. And look at the face of Kabul. He's a little bit upset about it. This little guy walking under his belly. It's strange behavior. Next shot is about the brown horse, and little Tibor at the back. You will not see him because he's pretty small and the grass is too high. Is running up and down, and Kabul gets upset about that. And here you can see very well how a horse is looking behind him, how he turns his head to look at both sides. I think it's a very nice moment to see how the horse is looking at. There we have Tibor. We call him El Horrible. You will understand why. A moment of consolidation because they are again he's getting excited. It's very hard to see. I'm zooming in, but still it's very hard to see because they're on a big distance. This is all about friendship. They're playing, but it's a mix. The two stallions. It's a mix of behavior, sexual behavior, and play. There we have the terrorist again. He goes very, very fast. Happiness play is only possible when the first three emotions are fulfilled, and that's curiosity, care, and happiness. And then the horse can start to play. Happiness is something it has to do with welfare, and for people it's pretty hard to understand what welfare is because everybody has his own principles, his own ideas about how horses are supposed to be. On this movie you see two horses who are using each other's tail. They do it on purpose. They are very self-aware. They know perfectly well what they're doing. The brown horse, perhaps you saw other movies of him, came with us when he was very, very thin and he got the wrong food. He also had a handler who was very nervous. This man climbed on his back and then the horse galloped, and this man was very proud that he stayed on the back of this horse. The consequence is that this horse was very, very nervous. So, what is the basic? To achieve his curiosity, I have to care for him. I had to work on his fear. I had to work on his panic. He almost got into panic. And he's a gelding, so that makes it a lot easier. And geldings you can easily put, normally you can put them together in the field. They don't fight. Stallions are a different story. What are animal emotions? Well, they are exactly the same as human emotions, except that we are sometimes overdoing in caring. Caring doesn't mean hugging and putting blankets on animals and stuff like that. Caring really means take care of the needs of this horse. Well, if you look at this video, and perhaps it will last for you too long, nothing is happening. Well, my eyes are different. I look in a different way to horses. There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. They're just standing there, fighting the flies, being together. That's for horses an emotion, the social behavior. That's an emotion which is very, very important. And people have the tendency to touch horses all the time, or to think, I'm learning my horse this, and I'm learning, like for instance, the sacking out. I never understood, and I still don't, why people are sacking out. I mean, what is the use of putting a plastic bag and hitting your horse, touching your horse with this plastic bag? It has no use. The only thing you learn a horse is to accept your silly behavior. If you would fight the flies, if you, for instance, would have a horse which is afraid of whips, and this brown one, well, both are afraid, then it would be useful to use this whip, in summertime especially. You can use a whip in fighting the flies. That's social behavior, and that's, for instance, something that this video teaches you, how to be social, how to care, how to achieve this moment of being together. So now they're both very nervous horses. They're both afraid of people. The grey one is terrified of people. You've seen in other movies. And now at this moment, besides, he's now being trained again he had 2 trainers. Okay, this is a nice example. The brown one tells the grey one to back off. What happened? I have no clue. But it might have been that the grey one had a thought that the brown one didn't like. For us, and for many people, horse feelings seem like telepathical, or I don't know, sky high, and I always call them the heaven people who are thinking in telepathical things and stuff. It's not. It's really high social and emotional developed animal. They feel what the other one feels. We can do it too. We don't have to be very sophisticated to be able to see somebody who we know, and we don't even have to know somebody very close to see that something is wrong. You know? You see it on the face, and it's almost impossible to describe what you see, but you see it. But we overshout. With people, it's always good, it's always fine, and we expect the other one to say it's good, it's fine. So that's not a human emotion, that's a human lie. I'm just going to say the way it is. It's lying. We are lying about the truth. Like these horses, both are victims of people who said or thought, I have trained and I am great and blah, blah, blah. Well, the grey one has been trained 5 years now for riding. Nobody succeeded. And I know in his future, nobody will succeed, because this horse has definitely learned, except he didn't learn the things that people want. The brown one has a problem in standing in the stable. He's very high nervous, and this is a moment of calmness, but I can assure you that there are a lot of moments when he's very nervous, when he's walking up and down. So if you are helping horses to get back in their horse, you focus on the emotions, you focus on the feelings, and if you see these feelings, you can get them back, and by making moments like this possible. So I think this is a very nice example of emotions. Emotions we deny, but are in reality exactly the same. They are the same emotions as the emotions we know about. Thank you for watching. Hope you like it.